న్యూస్ అప్డేట్ కోసం ఛానల్ ను సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. పక్కనే ఉండే బెల్ సింబల్ ను క్లిక్ చేయడం మర్చిపోకండి. అప్డేట్స్ ని మిస్ అవ్వకండి.
Respected Kavitha Madam Garu, respected Dr. Rajender Singh Ji, the pride of India, Kumari Phogat and Malavati Purna, distinguished delegates, gracious ladies and gentlemen. I deem it a great privilege to be part of this. Over the last 3 days, I understand you have deliberated on various subjects and particularly on Mahatma Gandhi's path to sustainability. I mean, the fact that we remember a person after 150 years of his existence reminds us what this great man must have done for this country, and for this world, for the planet itself. Today, as I stand in this dais, I see what is normally reflected in our Upanishads, Vasudhaivaka Kutumbakam. That is, the earth is one, the world is one, all of us are one. This unity of mankind is what I see here, with delegates from across the globe participating in this program. That is, every city is mine, all the people are mine. Mine, there's nothing called thine. So this unity of purpose is what has been a great display that Jagruthi has achieved here today. Well, the very name Jagruthi, I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you are aware, means awakening. And that is what this NGO, Jagruthi, under Kavitha's leadership, is performing today in Telangana. I would like to congratulate Kavitha, madam, for this wonderful opportunity that you've done. I have known her personally. I have seen her at close quarters working. And here is a person whose slogan, in the lines of Swami Vivekananda, is, "Awake, arise, and stop not till the goal is achieved." And that is why probably she has named her NGO Jagruthi, which means awakening. And today, this awakening has come in this gathering over the last 2 days. When we see what did Gandhiji really talk for? Sustainability. And what is sustainability? Sustainability is something which will last over a long lifetime. There is no use of short-term goals. And today, I think the need of the hour, I think I will stray away from the UN sustainability goals or other goals that you people must have been discussing over the last 2 days. I think today is a need for sustainability of peace, sustainability of harmony, sustainability of happiness, sustainability of oneness, and sustainability of the environment. These, I think, are important today for us. If we have to be happy on the earth, I think we need to achieve these 5 goals also, along with the other goals that we must be planning. Normally, when we talk of youth power, Yuva Shakti, we always think of only the men alone. We think the power is only with the males. But I think that is why you have the word Yuva Shakti. Yuva means youth, Shakti denotes goddess Durga. And that is where I would say, in fact, women really represent power. The youth means women also. It is not just men. It is this combination of Yuva Shakti, or what we call as Stri Shakti, is what is very important. And today, as I see in this gathering, with the lead being taken by Kavitha, I am confident that all of you will work shoulder to shoulder and bring about sustainability of all these things. Gandhiji rightly felt that this can be achieved only by channelizing the youth and the power of the youth. And when he talks of such a peace, why is he talking of peace? Because he adopted the path of ahimsa, that is non-violence, to achieve his objective. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a man, fragile-looking man, who showed to the world that things can be achieved with non-violence. That, I think, is today the most important slogan of the whole world. I think we need to go back to the goal of non-violence, because violence is not going to get us anywhere. When I say this, I appeal to the youth to please promote peace. When I say peace, please go about propagating that everything can be achieved by non-violence. There is no need to use force at all. Force is only going to sort of destroy us. Force is going to destroy people. Force is going to destroy resources. Force is going to destroy countries. Force is going to destroy mankind ultimately. So I think we need to avoid this and see if mankind is to be preserved today, I think what we need is peace. And for peace, I think we need to talk to each other. I think today, communication has become a bigger liability. We need to communicate with each other. And Jagruthi, I'm happy, is providing a forum for this global networking of youth. Because if all of you can talk to each other, and you in turn talk to another 100 people, this is going to have a multiplier factor. And I'm confident that you will be able to do that. The other thing that I want to tell you is, for example, when you talk of peace, today, I think there's a greater need for tolerance. Because many times we find, particularly, I'm sorry to make this, we find the younger generation is probably impatient or is intolerant over many things. Well, tolerance is something which Gandhiji taught us. You have to tolerate things. You have to work your way through, and only then you will achieve your object. Intolerance is a very sort of a thing which goes off in a moment, and you're not going to achieve anything at all. So I think we need to shed intolerance and we need to develop patience. And this is a power which only the youth of this world can give to all of us. I mean, I would request the youth to really practice this, preach this, and show to the world that today tolerance is the most important thing. And if you really want to provide everlasting peace, we need to fight poverty, illiteracy, disease, differentiation based on any factor, building an inclusive society, and an environment which will be friendly. Today, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to remove poverty, I think education is the need, a call of the hour. Quality education is something I would say is the need of the hour, and that is where the women are going to play a very important part. When you educate a man, he probably is a breadwinner and he sort of looks after the family. But when you educate a woman, I think the whole family remains educated. So I think it is very necessary that educating the girl child should be one of our major objectives. We should ensure that girl children do go for education and do an earning. And only then we are going to have long-lasting peace. We need, for example, disease. Healthcare is another important factor we need to propagate today. How do we really provide affordable healthcare to all citizens in the world? Because unless you have a healthy world, wealth is not going to get you health. Wealth will remain wealth and health remain wealth. Because if you want to have good health, whatever wealth you may have, you are not going to have good health. So which means we need to really sort of provide our healthcare facilities also in a big way so that we have a healthy population, which will be a working population. If you have a healthy population, an educated population, employment opportunities are going to come their way. And employment opportunities, when they come their way, it is going to bring in a lot of comforts in life and consequentially happiness. So these three steps will have to go all together if we have to provide a very happy society. The other thing is inclusive society. I think we need to sort of break down all barriers between man, woman and woman. I mean, mankind is one. There can be no differentiation based on any factor, whatever factor you may call it. Maybe color, maybe creed, maybe caste, maybe region, maybe language, maybe anything. But I don't think we can afford today to have any distinction based on any class or anything at all. And we need an inclusive society. An inclusive society promotes happiness of everybody. And if you have an inclusive society, you will find there will be less of disturbances. Because exclusion leads to a sort of discontent, and exclusion really leads to violence. And I think what we need to build up is an inclusive society where everybody is included in getting the benefits of what is being provided by the world at large. The other factor that I would like to touch upon is, of course, we have the master in this whole game, the expert as far as environment is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, today, this is one thing which is definitely costly. The way we go about our mining activities, the way we go about our deforestation, the way we go about destructing things, I think we are going to pay a very heavy price for that. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, you will realize, if one goes through India's rich heritage, in the earliest part of India, during our earlier days, trees were considered as gods. Why? Because if trees were considered as gods, nobody would harm the trees. They would not cut the trees. Birds were considered as gods because, for example, you will find every god, Hindu god, has a deity on which it travels. and so the birds and animals were considered as sacred, and so they were not hit. As a result, water again was considered a very important factor. Suppose it's something where you get a lot of punya. So the water again was considered very, so nobody will dirty the water. So all these things have been in the Indian heritage. Today, unfortunately, I think we have forgotten our heritage. We are looking for something which is already there in our heritage for thousands and millions of years. Be it protecting water, be it protecting animals, be it protecting trees. All this is part of our heritage, the Indian heritage and culture. It is not something that we need to reinvent today. It is already there. And it is for us to see how are we going to sort of redo this whole thing. Unfortunately, the earth can provide everything that a man needs, but cannot fulfill his greed. Need and greed, I think, have to be differentiated. We need to understand what is our need, and we need to understand what is our greed. And if you are going to base it on greed, I'm afraid you are going to destroy this planet sooner than later. We cannot have mortar, brick and mortar, and steel and iron all over the place. We need green pastures. We need greenery all around. I think one of the things that the youth can really participate or take an active fraction is planting trees. And we're talking of planting trees. You know, normally if you plant trees, which will probably provide something, they may cut trees. So I would request that you plant trees like vegetable, fruit trees, or some trees rather just flowers. So in which case people will not cut it because there's going to be a utility factor also. Plant a neem tree, plant a turmeric tree, plant a fruit tree, and that will be very useful. But planting a tree and maintaining the tree. Yes, there's a lot of tree plantation that goes on and off, but we need to sort of sustain it. That's the most important thing. It cannot be a one-day program. Sustainability is more important. Unless we are able to do all this, I'm afraid this global warming or water warming, you may call it, the whole thing and our own things are going to get heated up, and we are the ones who are going to suffer. It is for our own benefit that we need to do it. And whatever we do today is going to affect tomorrow. So yesterday, for example, I was talking to somebody on the theme of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All the three concepts really are very, very subjective. What is today becomes yesterday in no time, and what is tomorrow becomes today in no time. So really what we are going to do today, maybe the older generation or the youth, all of you, is going to benefit tomorrow and the day after. It is not just for you. It is going to be for the future generations. Because our own children, our own progeny will have to live on this earth. So please protect the environment. And I think we need to look at environment. We look at mining also as a very big thing. Yes, mining is an asset. But let us see if some earth is dug up for mining, we're able to sort of replenish it with a lot of greenery again. It was made compulsory that the number of trees that are planted in return for the digging of the mines is really performed very well. Unless we're able to do that, I'm afraid we are going to have problems. Gandhiji was a very rare combine of what in our concept we call the Bhakti Yoga, that is devotion to the cause. Jnana Yoga, that is knowledge of how to achieve. And Karma Yoga, which is performance. He was a true Karma Yogi because he never looked at the results. He said, I am doing what I am supposed to do, what I feel I should do. I think that should be the concept. Because expecting some result for every action of that, Newton's law is okay. Every action will have an equal and opposite reaction. That's all okay for Newton's law. But here, in terms of real action, I think we should do things without expecting any fruit of that action. It is our duty to do these things. And unless we are able to perform these fundamental duties, I'm afraid we are going to have a problem. The other issue that I would like to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, is about what we call the concept of empowerment of women. What is empowerment of women? This is a basic question that I would like to pose before this audience. Empowerment of women, in my limited knowledge, is first making the woman comfortable. She should feel comfortable, which means she must be educated, she must be able to have the freedom of choice to do what she wants and be able to sort of live a comfortable life. There should be no distinction between man and woman in terms of any particular activity. We have had examples of innumerable examples of great ladies in this country who have performed great things. We have endless performance of them. So it is not that ladies, so there should be no distinction between a man and a lady as far as workforce is concerned. I think the ladies are as competent as anybody, and this is really the empowerment woman. And empowerment does not mean merely giving her power. I mean, this concept of power or being a CEO or a CFO is not empowerment, sir. It is her safety, her security, her level of comfort. Today, as you see, the types of crime that are committed on women, I think it is deplorable. And that is where I think there is a duty cast on parents to teach their children how to respect the girl child. I think even at that stage where at home, at school, if children are taught how to respect a girl child, I think that is empowerment for women. Empowerment will come from respect that you give to the girl child. Respect will not come. For example, we have this thing saying women are our real force. And actually, when you look at it, they say that in a particular hand, you have all the gods residing in the hand of a woman only. Be it power, be it wealth, be it education, whatever you may call it, it all resides in the girl's power hand. So I think we need to sort of look at this sort of an empowerment of women. Empowerment does not mean merely sitting look at the number of CEOs that you have in the top or CFOs in the top. It is a question of how much of participation, how much of women participating in our activities today on a day-to-day basis, and how comfortable are they. The last point is, of course, innovation. I think innovation is something which youth, I think, is capable of. Today, I think innovation really stops at a particular stage. And you youth are capable. Think out of the box and come out with wide solutions. Play with technology. Play with technologies, but please play with technology only for societal utility. And appeal to the youth here. I know that all of you are great users of technology in a very big way, and modern technology being what it is a great facilitator for human kindness. But the point is, you must see what can I use technology for. Technology can never substitute a human brain. Let us remember that. If we try to use technology as a substitute for human brain, I am afraid our health is going to suffer. Our memory is our biggest asset. That is what God has given us. Let us not waste that memory by handing over our memory to the cell phone or the mobile or the computer or whatever it is. The other aspect is technology should not replace the human touch in us. So today, for example, unfortunately, because of the advent of technology in the mobile phones, sometimes even within houses, people are talking to each other on mobile phones. The human touch is necessary. You send somebody a greeting, and you get a reply which is a funny image, I don't know whatever you call it, and that's all that you get. You don't even get a word of thanks. I mean, we are losing our human touch. So please use technology for a particular societal use, maybe for keeping your environment clear, maybe for keeping health care, maybe for generating water, maybe for education purposes. Use it for that purpose, because it is intended for that. It is not intended as a substitute for human effort. If you are able to do all these, many of these things, I think Gandhiji will feel very happy. He was called a Mahatma. A Mahatma means a great man. And the great man is because he is remembered even today, 150 years after his existence. And if the only way we can pay tribute to the Mahatma is we are able to follow his progress, his path of peace, happiness, and joy to all mankind. I wish all the delegates a very successful visit to Hyderabad. I'm sure you must have had some free time. I hope Kavitha did not torture you too much here in the meeting hall itself. There's a lot of things to see in Hyderabad. The cuisine of Hyderabad is something which is very, very rare in the world. I'm sure Kavitha must have entertained you with that cuisine. And I think, if need be, I think, Kavitha ji, you should move them out of this hotel and take them to some other restaurant where they will get the real Hyderabadi food. So they must eat that Hyderabadi food which is necessary more than anything else. And that is what I think you should really do. And probably, if it has not already been done, I think you should screen them the film Mahatma Gandhi. The Gandhi film, I think, which had come years back, will be a very good sort of take-home for all of them to see what Gandhiji was and why we are thinking of it. We thank you very much for giving me the privilege of being in your midst today. I deem it great and wish you all the very best. God bless.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share. Follow on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Instagram. For more updates, please subscribe Great Telangana TV.